Welcome back to the Plays with Cars YouTube channel and another episode of Miniatures Monday. And today, we are talking stamps. Yeah, that's right, stamps. Alright, look, I know hardly anybody mails anything anymore. I pay all my bills online. The only time I'm ever in the post office is to drop off boxes of things I've sold on the internet. The other day, I was in the post office dropping off a box for the Grassroots Motorsports New Year's game, which is a gift exchange on a really popular car forum for a hugely popular motorsports magazine, which I'll link below, but most of you are probably already on GRM because that's where most of my YouTube content goes and comes from. But anyways, I was in there for the game, sitting off my box, and the kids noticed that they were selling Hot Wheels in the post office. Only it wasn't Hot Wheels, it was this stamp. So stamps now are stickers, and they have been for many years. And these are forever stamps, so one of these will forever send a letter, even if it's 100 years from now, supposedly, if the mail still is around then. But it was cool because it's Hot Wheels on a stamp. Like, stamps are usually like national parks or, you know, really famous people and scientists and thinkers and philosophers and artists and, you know, stuff like that. They did cars for the first time, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and they were like the Model T and the 57 Chevy. Like, they weren't anything uncommon. It was all stuff that is very Americana. This is Hot Wheels, man. These are little dollar cars, and it's not just old ones. Like, if you look on here, like Bone Shaker, this thing just came out, like, I don't know, 2016 or something like that. Like, that's a new car. Rigger Motor, that came out when I was a kid. I mean, that car's not that old. My son has a Diora too. I've seen this one on the pegs. Like, that's one too. Oh my gosh, there's probably 1,000 of these in the Target right now. The Mach Speeder, the really terrible Mazda Furai knockoff, which is infuriating because Hot Wheels is actually made a Mazda Furai. But anyways, none of that matters. What matters is Hot Wheels is actually popular enough in their 50th year to get stamps from the U.S. Postal Service. And I just thought it was really super cool. And even though it will probably take me the better part of 2 years to use all these, unless I decide to send Christmas cards instead of Christmas emails, it was just too cool to pass up. Plus, it gave me a good lead-in for an upcoming video, a sneak peek, if you will. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. You're about to find out some cool stuff about Miniatures Mondays. Also, fun factoid, Shark Cruiser was probably my favorite Hot Wheels as a kid. And it had those like awesome 80s flat wheels with the 3 bars. Yeah, love that one. Anyways, I'm pointing your attention to Twin Mill. Twin Mill is one of the original 16 Hot Wheels Redlines from 1968. Now, they're still making it today. It's been updated and changed. This photo thingy here is of the original, and you can tell because the base plate, the bottom part, is painted the same Spectraflame as the top. The newer cars, the bottom is plastic, or even if it's like the higher end metal ones, the bottom will be a different color and the top will be painted a different color. They'll be two-tone. But that's the original 1968. They were like that. I think 1970 even, when it was a red line, the second time that they made it. I think they called it the Twin Mill 2. They changed that base color. So the original Twin Mill with the 2 colors, 1 year only, super hard to find. There's been like 1 or 2 restoration videos on YouTube of guys doing red lines of those. We're going to throw our hat in the ring. This is a real 1968 Hot Wheels Redline Twin Mill. There it is. It's not one of the 25th anniversary reproductions. This is a real deal one. You can see the little bearings, the little white bearings inside the wheels. That's how you know it's a real Redline from 68. They've never reproduced those bearing axles. You can see that the posts have never been drilled or punched, and this thing is actually in pretty remarkable shape. There's some fading on the chrome, there's some fading on the paint, there's like some chips in the nose. The axles need a lot of love, but it's an original car. It's an original car in great shape that, with a little bit of work, will look absolutely amazing on someone's shelf. That someone being me. But yeah, these things are hideously expensive, being one of the original. And I believe this one is orange, Spectraflame orange. The original Spectraflame colors, there's a bunch of them. And some colors are harder than others. Obviously, pink is like the one everybody goes after, but there's also like rose and magenta that are like different shades of pink. My favorite is like the antifreeze. They had like a lime that was a true lime green, but then they had an antifreeze that was like literally the color of antifreeze, which is really cool on Redlines. But anyways, I have very few actual Redlines. This is one of them. I picked it up at the Turkey Rod Run in Florida back in November, Daytona Speedway. It's a massive, massive car show and swap meet, probably one of the biggest in the States. They fill up literally the whole inside, the infield of the 2.5 mile Daytona Speedway with show cars. And then like the outside fills up too. It's nuts. But anyways, I got a whole bunch of Redlines there from one vendor for a great price. This is one of them. I paid an average of $6 a car. $6 for this 1968 Redline twin mill. I'm going to attempt to restore it. And most restorations on YouTube are real restorations. They will take the car, they will drill the post, they will break it in half, and repaint it and strip the paint and all that stuff. I don't want to do that. I'm going to leave these alone. I'm going to leave these alone, leave everything alone. I'm going to preserve the car, I should say. So I got a little tool that I ordered online to fix these axles. We're going to bend the axles back up. We're going to polish the paint. I'm going to show you how to polish the paint safely. We're going to touch up the chrome a little bit. I've been debating on this, but I want the car to display really nicely, and I don't think touching up the chrome is out of the question. So we're going to touch up the chrome on the wheels. The Redlines themselves on the tires are in fantastic shape. A little bit of polish, they're going to look amazing. We're just going to touch up the chrome, straighten up the axles, polish it out really nice, and just make this look as good as we can. That way I've got a $6 car that looks like a couple $100 car on my shelf, and that's going to make me really happy. And yeah, we'll share that with you guys. So we're going to do our first attempt at a Redline restoration, a very mild one, albeit. With this, the twin mill, which is featured here on the Hot Wheels, on the Hot Wheels stamp. I think that one is gold, and funnily enough, I had a gold 25th anniversary repop as a kid. I think. Pretty sure I did. I remember the twin mill. Anyways, this is an original. These are stamps. It's all cool. It's Hot Wheels content. We'll see you guys next week.